Hi, Larry Snowdy back here at the Chicago Comicon. I'm here with Niel, Vokes, and Kurt Busiek. This is going to be kind of a weird interview, guys, because I want to ask Kurt about a few things. I also want to ask Niel about a few things. Kurt, I'm going to start off the interview with you. One, how exactly did you get interested in the comic book field?
Well, I got interested in the comics field because I'd read comics as a kid. You know, I'd seen them at friends' houses. I was interested in comics, but I wasn't planning to be a comic book writer as a living until the job that I was interested in doing, computer programming. I did that for a summer, and I was just bored stiff, and I knew I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life. And I saw a comment in a letter column in an early issue of Chris Claremont's run on the X-Men, where he talked about his grandfather not understanding that this was what he did for a living, and that just sort of penetrated my tiny little brain and went, people do this for a living, and it looks like fun. I could do that. And so that's what got me interested in actually doing it professionally, and I followed that up and practiced and took classes in writing and magazine production and so forth. And when I finished college, I submitted stories to Marvel in DC, and they bought them, and here I am today.
And how about you?
How about you? How'd you get?
How about you and Calamity? How'd I get into this business?
Luck.
That's about it.
That's actually how I got into the business, by luck, yes.
You got in there by luck?
Yeah, well, you know, like Kurt and many people in the business, we were kids reading comic books, and we said to ourselves, someday that's going to be me there in that tiny little magazine, either drawing or writing or whatever the heck you want to do. I can't imagine somebody growing. I've always wanted to be a letterer. You know, when I saw, I'm sorry, but my apology to all letterers out there. And I would sketch things, you know, at home. I'd be drawing those little matchbook things I used to send away for the so-and-so Art Institute or something, and draw Sparky, right? I drew Sparky a lot, and I actually didn't even get into the business until I was very, very old. I was 29 actually, and my wife had pushed me into it basically because I had been laid off from my real job. And
what was your real job?
I was working in this is really important. I was working in a furniture warehouse as a supervisor, inventory supervisor. Every day I would get into my little truck and I'd move down the aisles and count everything and check it against a line of goods. And if they weren't there, I'd say, they're not there. And then and I'd move on to the next aisle. Needless to say, I was looking forward to something to change my career, but
actually, little known story, Neil has gotten so good at drawing Sparky that next year we're doing the Sparky miniseries.
Sparky meets Godzilla. It's going to be a heck of a comic book.
Actually, my roommate would probably buy that. Well, okay, now that we know how you got into the field a little bit, I want to talk to you a little bit about Marvels, because you just won 2 CBG awards for that.
That's true.
How do you feel about that?
They're pretty heavy. I'm very flattered, and I'm very pleased that we won the awards, because the CBG awards are the only awards that are voted on by the readers. That CBG calls them not best writer or best miniseries or best inker, but favorite, because the Harveys and the Eisner Awards, those are voted on by people who are in the business, but the CBG Awards are the ones that are voted on by the people who actually buy the comics and read the comics, and so knowing that enough of them felt that Marvel's was their favorite miniseries of last year or whatever. That's what this is all about. That's why we do this. You know, we to some degree, it feels like we're doing the comics to please each other, because we're the people we tend to talk to about it, but we're really doing it for the readers, so getting that kind of reaction from the readers is just terrific.
So a really good feeling then. I'm getting that out of you. Now, I got to ask you a question. I picked up a copy.
I haven't won any awards.
You haven't won any awards?
No, I haven't even been nominated yet, but I think the Sparky Godzilla book is going to do it for my career right there.
As long as you do it seriously, yes.
I take everything I do seriously, can't you tell?
Yeah. Okay. No, but I picked up a copy of Soul Searchers yesterday, and I was quite impressed with how well the story was. Yes.
It's a very well written story. The artwork could use a little work, but as soon as they get somebody good on the book, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I think you need a nap there, man. But you also work on a book together, and the name of the book is?
Johnny Demon. Actually, we've worked on several books together.
Okay.
But Johnny Demon is our creation, so we're proudest of that at this point.
How exactly did you come up with Johnny Demon?
Oh, this was pretty interesting. Niel was supposed to draw Vampirella. I had seen his samples in his agent's sample book at a convention, and I grabbed the associate publisher and showed the stuff to her and said, we got to get this guy, and she said, yeah, he's pretty good. And I had them mail the stuff to the editor, and I told them, we got to get this guy. And so we got this guy, and he did.
Hold on one second. I'm sure this fan would like to say something to you.
Thanks for all your work you've done on Elvira Comics. It's awesome.
Thank you very much.
Here's the $5.
But
I'd like to read it again and again.
Much better than cats.
so Niel was supposed to take over drawing Elvira with the first issue of the regular ongoing series, and he drew about, I guess, 10 or 11 pages of breakdowns and a few pages of full pencils, and they came into the office and everybody said, wow, this looks good, this is terrific. They sent it out to the inker, and the inker, John Nyberg, is one of these guys who doesn't change a whole lot. He inks what's there, and it came back and it looked like the pencils with ink on them. And at the office, they just went, oh my God, this guy's too cartoony. No, we can't have him draw Elvira. This doesn't work at all. Get somebody else, quick. And they fired Niel. And when I heard about this, I thought, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Niel's a terrific artist. Everybody liked the pencils. The inked artwork looks like the pencils. It's not like there are any surprises here. So I called up Niel to say, look, it's not because they know what they're doing or they have any taste or they have any judgment or they're going to be in business 5 years from now.
Blackmail!
And so I told Niel that I really liked his work and I'd like to work with him sometime, and we started to talk about what sort of thing we would like to do together. And I mentioned a series idea that I'd had some time ago, and Niel mentioned some variations on stuff he'd like to do, and we kind of went back and forth, and we made up a couple of new characters. And normally when you do that, a few years later, you've forgotten about it completely. In this case, a couple of weeks later, I got an envelope in the mail. Niel had done some character sketches. So we actually worked up a proposal, and we showed it around and sold the series to Dark Horse, where we did it.
Okay,
More of it.
You're going to be doing more of it?
Yes.
Okay, you're getting a little bit of a line here, and I don't want to deny anybody their chance to get your autographs and talk to you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a minute alone with the microphone, and you can plug anything you want, upcoming projects. Just go ahead, look in camera, and go for it. Is it just me, or do I feel like Donahue here? There you go.
Plug my projects?
Plug your projects. What do you want people to know about?
One of the books I'm working on right now is the adaptation of Life, the Universe, and Everything, the Douglas Adams novel. It's the third adaptation that DC's putting out through Byron Price Publications. There's a little plug for Byron Price. So he'll like that.
Byron, he has nice hair.
And it's technically it's the third book in the trilogy of 5 books that have come out. I'll be penciling that. In fact, the aforementioned John Nyberg will be inking it and probably be told that it doesn't look right. You've inked it now. But this is not John's fault. We love John. He's a wonderful human being, and he's a great dancer. And
not a bad kisser either.
Actually, Kurt again and I are working on an image one-shot book called Marvin, for reasons which will be apparent when you read the book, and mostly because that's the character's name. However, that will be inked by Jay Geldof. I will plug there for Jay, who is
Some of the characters.
some of the characters.
List a few of the characters you'll be drawing in that one shot.
Well, let's see. There's the Wildcats team. Everybody in that team. There's Spawn. You've probably heard of him. There's I don't even know all their names.
Youngblood in it, Neil?
Youngblood is mayhaps there. The Savage Dragon. I hear he's in that also.
Shadowhawk in it.
If you know the characters in the Image universe, you will probably find them in this one issue, and I will be drawing every single gosh darn one of them, and Kurt will be writing every gosh darn one of them. That's a project I'm doing kind of in between the cracks of all the other projects I'm doing. I've just been asked by Dark Horse, very nicely, I must say, to draw their upcoming book. I believe it's called The Adventures of the Mask, which will be based on the cartoon, which is, of course, based on the movie, which, of course, is based on the comic book. So it's a vicious cycle, yes, it is. And I'll be doing that later this year, and it will be coming out, I suspect, as of Christmas or a little, maybe early next year. That's cool. And probably 2 or 3 other things I haven't even thought of that I'll be doing at the same time.
Okay, well, I really appreciate your time.
Sure.
It means a lot to me. And I'm also going to give you a minute, although he went overboard there. I'm also going to give you a minute to plug whatever you like. Go ahead.
Okay,
About 30 seconds.
30 seconds? Well, coming out in August of this year is a series called Kurt Busiek's Astro City, which is coming from Image Comics. It's written by me. The covers are painted by Alex Ross. The interior art is by Brent Anderson. It's something of a follow-up to Marvel's, in that Marvel's was a series about what it was like to see the Marvel Universe from a human perspective, the perspective of Phil Sheldon, the photojournalist. Astro City is a series about what it's like to perceive life in a superhero world from a variety of different viewpoints, whether it's the heroes, the villains, the innocent bystanders, alien spies, guerrilla crime bosses. If it's interesting, we'll examine the genre from that viewpoint. Other than that, I'm doing Untold Tales of Spider-Man, a new monthly Spider-Man series that only costs 99 cents per issue. My tagline on this is, no clones, no crossovers, no carnage, no continued stories, under $1. How can you go wrong? I'm also writing the new Shadowhawk for Image, and I'm writing a Regulators miniseries from them, and occasionally sleeping, eating, going to the bathroom, things like that.
That's cool. Well, gentlemen, I really appreciate your time. I thank you for the interview, and this is Larry Snowdy. We'll be back with yet another interview.
Okay.